Welcome to the Flip Thinking Podcast. In this podcast, you'll listen to intimate conversations between Bertolt Gunster and his guests. Together, they'll explore the guest's personal problem and try to make it feel lighter or make it disappear altogether. This can be achieved in different ways. Sometimes they can simply solve the problem, but more often than not, they'll find that they have to let go of expectations or views they hold about themselves. At other times, they can only observe the fact that there is a problem without judging it. And in some cases, they can flip think the problem.
What's your name? Who are you? Something about yourself.
Yeah.
Who am I facing at the moment?
My name is Sarah.
Yeah.
I'm a psychiatrist, a mom, a wife, and also a parent of a very sick, psychiatrically ill child.
You are jumping to the problem right away, right?
Yeah.
So you've been working in New Zealand, right?
Yep.
So I'm grateful to have you here so I can learn a little bit more about the English language. But we're not here for the language issues, but for your daughter, right?
Yeah.
You already mentioned.
Yeah.
So what's the issue? What's the problem?
My daughter, she's 15 at the moment, and she developed anorexia nervosa about a year ago. We were in New Zealand at that time, and being a psychiatrist and a mom who's...
It's like getting your practice into your own, right?
I know,
in a way.
Yeah, especially because my specialization is working with clients or patients with personality disorders. So talking about emotions and emotion regulation is my core business and my passion.
So the universe gave you a challenge, you might
say. It did. Yeah. And at first I thought, oh, well, we recognize this. We know this. We can turn it around.
Nothing
it will
to
be
worry
anorexia
about.
light, and she's fixed before we get back to the Netherlands.
We are talking about you and your husband, I presume, right?
Yeah, and also my daughter. Yeah, because
she herself is able to contemplate, think about her own situation.
Definitely, yeah. The difficulty is that she is clever, yeah. But she doesn't want to get better, whereas I do want her to get better. So that's we're sort of at opposites.
Could you give me a description of how the situation is at the moment? Is it really a reason to worry much, or how would you?
Yeah. No, it's terrible.
It's terrible.
Yeah. She lost so much weight in a very short time that she had to be hospitalized for like 4 weeks in New Zealand. And we returned like from hospital to hospital because she wasn't well enough. And she's still mainly on tube feeding. Plus, she's very depressed, suicidal, self-harming. And she doesn't want to get better. So, yeah.
Could you say that at the moment she's really fed up with life or sick with life? How would you what words would you
She's
pick
afraid. She's so afraid of everything, really. Yeah, staying sick, but also getting better and having to enter society again and everything, getting hurt again. So at the moment, we have 24 hours a week of professional care at home to keep her safe.
24 hours a week?
A week, yeah. So 3 full days, Plus my mom is coming 8 hours a week.
You said she's afraid to be hurt again. So was she hurt then?
Yeah. I think most of us are hurt. She was bullied in school, and we have some interesting family dynamics, not in the core family, but the wider family. So there are definitely things, but I never, ever imagined that a child with 2 loving parents without relationships problems in a household where emotions are okay and where you can talk about it.
Where there's warmth, understanding.
I never, ever imagined a child could become this ill.
Yeah.
But it has happened.
It happened.
And it happened while we were watching. We were there. We were holding her hand, and it was unstoppable.
And she was able to talk about it.
Oh, yeah. She has always talked about it. At first with all of us, but mainly now with me, because she stopped talking to anyone else. Yeah.
She doesn't talk to her father?
No.
And to her brother?
No.
Oh, this must be heartbreaking, isn't it?
Yeah.
For the whole family.
It is, yeah.
She doesn't talk with her father?
No.
Since how long?
from, I think, the day she was admitted to the hospital. Yeah.
Which was how long ago then?
That was June. And
so
we're
around about 4 or 5 months. So we're in October now for the listeners.
Yeah, October, yeah. I sometimes lose track of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's really tough.
But she does speak with you?
Yeah, a lot. And she also started speaking with her therapist. And so she is practicing talking to people.
I want to have her here. As an aside, sorry. But
oh, yeah. Well, she
is
might want to.
My first impulse is I'm talking with you, but let her be here because she's the main problem and you're... but you're a problem. For you, there's a problem too, right?
Exactly, because why does a child feel the need to be very ill to express her pain? So that's never just the child.
It's the whole system, you mean?
Yeah.
Do you feel guilty?
I have, at times. I don't feel guilty anymore, no. But I did experience a lot of self-stigma in the beginning, being a psychiatrist or a healthcare professional.
Yeah, hello, it's your work.
I
Help
know,
her, make her better.
Yeah, but also I think every parent feels self-stigma. I think that's also why I wanted to come here and I want to explore, because I think I know all the puzzle pieces, but it's still so complex and there's so many layers and it's so severe. Yeah, any help is welcome.
And let's be clear, I'm talking with you and your problem is not her problem.
No.
Although there is a lot of overlap, right? And there's a cause-and-effect relationships between things. And you're, of course, very much connected with one another. Yeah. But still, your problem is a different one than hers, right?
Exactly, yeah. And I think sometimes the more I try to fix her, the more resistance she feels.
Did you... so her... Could you say she really wants to stop living? Is this too strong now, or
no?
Is this the current situation?
What she says every day.
She says it every day.
Oh yeah.
And what's your response to this?
It varies. I think it's also different over time. So when she's very concrete in that she wants to die, I talk her through that actually she doesn't have an option of dying because we won't leave her alone long enough to get there.
You want to, but you won't manage.
Yes,
you won't manage.
Yes. So we discuss daily that dying at her age is an illusion. And it's her escape. She feels stuck in the moment, which I get because it sucks. It sucks to be her and also to be me at the moment, honestly. And she feels stuck. So I get it that she wants to escape, but we're not going to let her. So actually her only option is out of this prison that she's in at the moment is to try and recover.
Now, if I imagine, as far as I can, of course, to be her, then she is living with this family of 3 people, talking with you. And the main message is you have to stay alive. You do not have a choice. Yep. We will keep you alive.
Yeah.
Now, if I imagine to be her, and of course, this is something I think you have imagined yourself too, this might feel as an extra burden, as an extra pressure on her. How do you think about that?
On the one hand, I agree. On the other hand, she also is under a lot of pressure to sort of be successful in very ill, and a successful anorexic is dead. So by telling her, we're not going to let you, it can also relieve a little bit of pressure because we won't allow her. Let me explain. So I think every day she will stand at the top of the stairs and tell herself, just do it, just jump off the stairs.
She does so, really,
She doesn't jump, but she is standing there and telling this to herself. So she feels
jump
to be a good, bad, very ill person. You have to show this by doing destructive things like that. And she feels weak not to do it. So I get what you're saying, but I do think that by telling her that it's an illusion and it won't have the result she is hoping for, that it can also relieve a little bit of pressure. Yeah, because if she feels it's a realistic option, then not taking it is, in her mind at the moment, weak. But recognizing that it's actually an illusion. So what she will sometimes say is, oh yeah, it sucks to have parents like you guys because you won't let me die, or something like that. And I hear in her voice that it's also a relief. Yeah, but it might be a bit difficult.
Could you imagine that there would be a point in time that you, and this is a terrible question, I know. You know what question is coming, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's my job.
It's your job. Can you imagine that there's a point in time when she's 60, 70, 80, 20 that you can change and say, well, if you really want to go, well, this is the next step then maybe?
Yeah, I can. I have. No, I've experienced when I was younger, we were in a kind of a similar situation with my sister. And, well, I was her sister and still young myself, but I sort of felt, okay.
You were younger or older?
Older.
Yeah.
If I see your pain, and if you really want to die and it happens, I go with peace. But that's like a mental thing. I don't know if it could have felt like that.
And how old were you at that time? How old were you?
18.
18, and she was a little bit younger, right?
Yeah, 15.
Does she still live?
Yeah.
So she managed to get through.
Yeah.
So you were on the point when you were 18
that
you felt sorry for your sister and could identify with her. And if she would leave this earth, then you could be at peace with this.
Yeah.
You are not at peace right now.
With my daughter? No.
Not at all.
No.
Why not?
Yeah, because there is still so much to be done. I do recognize her pain and how stuck she is, but there are treatments. I don't agree with all treatments that are offered, but I do think that looking at the pain underneath can be really effective. And she hasn't had that opportunity yet. So I think it's my duty as her parent to make sure that she gets the opportunity to possibly benefit from therapy. But I do realize that I can't do it for her. I can only create a space where things can happen, and it will only happen if she wants to.
So when I identify with you, I think the best way to describe your current situation is that you feel immensely powerless. Is that right?
I feel immensely powerless about her recovery. There is power in just being present. But it sucks. It's her body, her life, her psyche. Yeah. And you cannot take over. If we could take over from our children, I have 3 sons myself, and it wasn't as desperate as you were with your daughter, with all respect, of course. But there are moments that it was very difficult with our sons too. And now and then I thought, well, just go aside. I'll take over your brain. I'll do some things for a few months, and then I give you back your body and you. So, but this must feel so. Powerless. Frustrating. It is.
Especially when it's your job.
Yeah. And also, it is my job, although I don't treat eating disorders specifically. But talking about pain and trauma and emotions, that's definitely my job. Yeah. And I do believe that we, as our parents, invested in talking about emotions. And I really also have hope, and I'm hopeful that that foundation will be something she can sort of push off.
Does she feel love and connection with you?
At the moment, she finds it hard because she doesn't allow it. But
like she shut off her father and her brother.
And she feels she doesn't deserve love or connection. But we're sort of tricking her into it. So we got kittens, and we are working on getting her a puppy that she can train as an emotional support dog. And feeling connected to animals is safer. So, we're sort of tricking her into getting more connected. And I do think that's
Are the kittens already there?
Oh, yeah.
And does she have a connection with them?
Yeah, and it's growing. Yeah. At first, she didn't want to talk to them, and she felt, that felt wrong or unsafe. But right now, she does talk to the kittens and cuddle them and tell them that they're cute. So I do think
there's a little hope.
Oh, there is. Yeah, it's dire, but there's also a lot of hope. Not a little, a lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
And this bullying, is she open about what happened to her? Can she talk about this?
Yeah. Yeah, she's a really wonderful writer. So she's writing her story and also memories of these things that were happening. And she is in more than one way, I think, trying to work through that. And also as parents, I think we never recognized the pain. Neither did she. She always thought it's not that bad because it was actually her best friend bullying her. So that's terrible. And I think that's a pattern in her life, that she never really saw her pain for what it was. And the same went for us as parents. I mean, we love her to bits, but I think we never really saw how sensitive she was.
And she didn't either.
No.
But
because when I look at all the things that she's writing about and the things that come up, there's no surprises. There's no huge trauma or things coming up that we didn't know. Everything that's coming up we knew about, but we didn't know about the connection. And I think it's all these micro traumas that add on to each other, build on. Yeah. And she has some neurodiversity, ADHD. So there's also that. And I think all that together caused like a big tsunami.
And now she's stuck like a car stuck in the mud and difficult to get moving.
Yeah.
So now imagine nobody knows how this will end, right? Nobody knows the future, can predict what will happen.
No.
But you can tell some scenarios, like she's bit by bit getting better. But there's this real scenario that she doesn't want to live anymore for a longer time, and that you as a parent have to let her go. Like you once have felt with your sister, and you were at peace with this, right?
Yep.
So, if this might happen, how do you think about this possible future with her? What are your thoughts and feelings about that? Which I hesitate to ask because I'm asking for in a way an obvious answer. It's terrible, of course, but what kind of words what would be the words to describe your future state of being?
I think the worst would be her pushing us away and severing all connection and her dying alone. If she still struggles like she's now for years, then I think we're lucky to live in a country where there are options of ending your life with the help of a doctor.
In not such a terrible way
where
as in
you
other
don't
countries.
have to do it alone, where you can stay connected with your
So the
loved
worst
ones.
scenario for you is that she would break the connection with you too.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Is this a serious option for?
It's always an option. I mean, when I look at my patients, quite a few of my patients have had eating disorders along with all kinds of other stuff. It's usually more than one thing. Yeah, I know you interviewed some patients or had people like that as well.
Yeah, sexual abuse and being bullied around and
having
broken
had
up families.
many therapies and going through this, I realized that I never fully realized the impact of being a parent of such an ill child and what it can do to your relationship. And I mean, I have so much experience and knowledge about attachment, about emotion regulation. This is such a difficult job to be a parent and stay connected to yourself and your child. So what I see in some patients is that, they do get fully isolated from their parents. And before, I would always think they're just bad parents. But, well, maybe I wouldn't say it, but
they
maybe
could be better. They could be better.
Or maybe until now, I couldn't really recognize how hard this is. And that even maybe if you have a little bit less skill and energy to stay with this terribleness, that it can lead to breaks in the relationship and pushing each other away and creating more trauma on top of everything.
So you're saying it's very hard to stay connected and close to her. This is the hardest part.
Yeah.
To be facing her situation day in, day out.
And sit with her pain and stay connected. Yeah. That's the hardest. Yeah. I think more and more I recognize that I didn't realize she was such a sensitive child. And we have another child, and I always thought he's the sensitive child, but
Surprise.
I have two.
Surprise.
Yeah. So I thought she was sort of butterflying through life, because that's what it looked like. Yeah.
Listening to you, I'm convinced that you are not the cause.
No. I mean,
and you can feel the same.
Yeah,
After all these years.
I mean, there's things that I have done or not done that are part of the whole big puzzle. But
there will always be.
Yeah.
There will always be.
Yeah.
Nobody's perfect as parent.
No.
Yeah. So for now, it seems like there's no other option. Staying with the pain, stay connected with her, be grateful for the fact that she still does communicate with you.
Yeah.
So what's the next step? This is a question, of course, you have been thinking about day in, day out, 24 hours a day.
Yeah. Well, I think time and a lot of patience and treatment. And I think that's another sore subject, because I work for a large psychiatric institution, I'm very passionate about my work that we do. I think we do great work, but I am doing everything I can to keep my daughter out, because the care for eating disorders, and specifically anorexia nervosa for minors like my daughter, is not great. The treatment, the effectiveness of treatments is really low. So we are doing a really strange thing, which I'm very grateful that in the Netherlands we can. But I think every doctor we speak to would rather refer her to one of those specialized clinics, and we don't want that, because I really think she would become worse and worse, because she would become so competitive that she wants to be the best anorexic. And that's being a dead anorexic.
A little bit dangerous.
It's dangerous, yeah. So we try to do alternative things, and that's also a bit difficult, because I do work, sort of in the mainstream psychiatric care. But when my daughter is suicidal, like she sometimes is, I don't want to take her to like a crisis service, because I don't know who I will meet and if they might admit her to a psychiatric hospital. And I think that will only make her worse. So it's also experiencing, I don't know, the split in the world where I work. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like a burden on the system, because I don't just want to walk the normal route with my daughter. I want something better for her. And that's hard.
Yeah. So did you talk with her about when she still wants to die in 2, 3, 4, 5 years, that at a certain point in time that would be fine for you?
Yeah, well, I don't want to become too specific, because then it might become like a goal for her. What I do...
Is it? Does it? Are you sure? Here?
No, but she is competitive. So what I do is talk. Okay, so you don't want to feel better now. Do you want to feel better? Do you still want to feel like this in 5 years? And then she'll say, no, of course not. Oh, how about in 3 years? How about in 2 years? And then she says, stop talking.
She's talking about, she can talk with you about the future.
Oh, yeah.
And she does talk talk with you about getting better. Does she have visualizations of this or images?
Yeah. So
she does.
So I gave her I'm surprised. Yeah. I gave her a writing subject, because she likes writing, and I told her, well, maybe you can write a story where you imagine you're 20 now and you reflect on this terrible time in your life, and she did. So she wrote first, but like in the past tense. She wrote about her experiences in the past year. And then she also managed to write a paragraph on when she would be 20. The middle was hard, but it's hard for me too, because I really don't know how things will go, because it's all up in the air. But she does have a kind
of idea how she could climb over the situation from now to 20 years old.
No, the middle part is blank, but there is a jump.
There's a gap there. Yeah. But there is a future.
Yeah, and I do think that training the puppy to become an emotional support dog is a very big part of that blank space.
Back to my question. You haven't said to her, when you still have this wish of dying, when you are 20 or 25, there will be a point in time that I can be at ease with that.
Yeah.
What
I did say is...
What is...
what's holding me back of saying that?
Thank you very much for helping with the English. What's holding you back to say something like this? Because you have been at this place with your sister.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now this is your daughter. And she's younger, right? But not that much younger as your sister was.
No,
was she?
Exact age.
Age.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
First, let's go to your sister. How did your sister respond to you saying that you could be at ease?
Oh, I never said it.
Oh, you didn't say?
No.
Oh.
But my sister, no, I said it to myself and maybe my mom. Never to my sister, no. Okay. But my sister didn't talk. Yeah. So,
but your daughter does talk.
My daughter does talk to me.
But you did have the realization, the experience, the feeling that you could be at ease at some time. How terrible this may sound, though.
Yeah.
So what's holding you back to say this to your daughter? Because you don't want to see her suffer for 2 years, 5 years. There is also for you...
5 years is okay, Yeah, no, but what I did tell her is... But I get your point, and maybe it's something... Well, we'll listen to this together.
You will listen with her to this?
Oh, yeah. Actually,
great.
Because I wanted her to...
I want her to be here. Here. I don't have cats, but I can talk.
Yeah.
No. You make me very curious about her because I think she's very intelligent, bright, sensitive, very nice girl. The world needs this girl, right? And when she takes off, that will be
she will become a great therapist if she wants to. Right. Yeah, that's also one of her scenarios of a far, far future.
Yeah. What's holding you back to say so? Because isn't this what you really feel? What you mean? There is an end of this suffering, right? If it goes on and on.
Yeah.
What's holding you back?
I don't want it to go on and on.
I know. Could you give some more words to this? It seems like also, again, the obvious question with the obvious... Because I'm a mother, of course, you love her, of course. Yeah. But could you elaborate a little bit more about what's holding you back?
I think because I did talk to her about, but more in a general way, not I can be at peace when that happens or if that ever happens. I think there's part of me that fears if I say it, it might become true. There's also a part of, she's very easily influenced. So she will read or hear a story of another person with anorexia and they have had 2 admissions or they have had this or that. And then she feels I have to get that too before I can recover. And I'm afraid that if I say something like that, it will become like a marker. I have to get to that point. But I don't know if it's a realistic fear.
Well, if I mention to be you, and if I mention to be her, try to identify with both. If I identify with her, I think I would feel, of course, the pressure from my mother and father and my brother to live on and be part of the family and to have a future like everybody else, like every normal people. Yeah. This is what the expectation of the world. She's confronted with these expectations. And she knows, of course. And she fails. She fails in doing so. So now, if I mention to be her and I feel this push that she has to get through, that she has to get to make life funny and happy and be joyful and play with kittens and recover and get better, because there's no other way than get better. Yeah. I mentioned to feel imprisoned by this, as if I'm robbed from my freedom, from my life, my body, my future. Yeah. And I can imagine that this is a kind of pressure that doesn't help her. No. So I could also imagine, but I'm just trying to figure out how life could be for her, right? Yeah. I could also imagine that if you as a mother would say to me, as if when I were your daughter, this terrible suffering, it breaks my heart. I see you day in, day out, struggling to get better. And all I want for you and for me and for us is that you get better, be happy, wake up in the morning and see the sun shining and have a boyfriend or girlfriend, whatever, enjoy life. And I will do everything I have to help you to get there. But if together, and we, the two of us, and people around us who might help us too, if we won't manage and if you feel desperate, and if you still feel desperate, then I won't push you through life until you are 30, 40. There will be a point in time I will let you go, and then I can let you go. Be sure that if I love you so much, that if you really want to go in the future once, I won't push you to stay alive. No. Then I will let you go.
Yeah.
Imagine that you are your daughter and you are listening to these words. How do they sound? What does it do with you?
Yeah. I have alluded to this, but have not been this explicit. But I have told her, if your life is still such a painful shithole, once you're
word.
an adult and you've had
you tried everything you could, and we did everything we could.
But I may not have been this specific because she knows my position in this also with my patients. Some of them are also in this situation. But I might.
You're chewing on this question, aren't you?
Yeah, and I'm trying to sort of remember our conversations because it might be that, as with my sister, that it's more something I felt and thought than I might have explicitly talked about.
Isn't it the truth?
It's the full truth.
Will there will be a day in the future that you really can embrace the complete impossibility for her to live on?
Yeah.
So why not tell her this truth?
Yeah.
In fact, maybe this sounds a little bit rude, but why holding back her this truth? She's clever.
She is. And I think she knows. But I'll check with her. And I will make it more explicit, I think.
So are you hesitative about this because you question if it's the right strategy?
I fear. I'm not entirely sure. I've sometimes been very open and truthful with her, and it backfired.
It did?
Yeah.
Well, but this would be the ultimate truth, right? This is the very hard, inevitable, final truth, or how can I put this, which you haven't shared with her.
Yeah, at least not explicitly. And I will definitely check with her. Yeah. But then I first have to decide to share it explicitly. But once we listen to this, it's out in the open.
Yeah. Or maybe you just won't let her listen to this recording, right?
Yeah. I promised her to do that. Yeah. And the other thing is, we are not pushing her to be happy.
No, that's fine.
We are lowering the bar, and the only thing that she wants and genuinely wants is being a puppy owner. So that's all she has to do. She can still be tired and moody and not nice,
and still you as a mother,
and I will still love her and connect with her. And the only thing she has to do is
just be there.
Yeah, be an owner of a puppy or a dog. In the end, be there. Yeah. And if she doesn't want the dog, she doesn't have to. No.
Maybe this sounds strange, but in a way, if I may say so, I am very optimistic. Is this stupid to say?
No, I'm also optimistic, but I'm also tired because it might take a long time. Yeah. I am optimistic in the long run, but
me too.
It's tough. It's just.
I think she is a wonderful mother. The way you talk about her and the fact that you are here and the way you are looking for how to stay in contact with her, to keep this connection, relatedness, while she has, of course, a very difficult daughter, and she knows this herself, right? Yeah. She knows this herself. And so you do a great job. Yeah. I don't have much advice for you or help. The only thing I might think would, sorry, the only thing that I'm curious about is how would it be if you share this truth you're carrying in yourself, that you in some time in the future you will be at ease. Yeah. But you will think about this, right?
Yeah.
And
I'll
am I
check
right?
with my son and
what he thinks about it. Yeah. And so again, the only thing that's holding you back, if it is strategically the best thing to do. Yeah. Yeah. So why not take the risk? Because you want a truthful, open relationship with her, and you manage incredibly well, I think. So may I say that 98% of what you think and feel you share with your daughter? I do. Only this 2% you hold back, right?
Yeah. I might, because I don't wish that for her. But I do.
If you say so, this would be a saying out of love.
Definitely, yeah.
And can love have a wrong outcome?
No, but sometimes I can be a little bit impulsive and share something in my enthusiasm. This would be a bit different maybe. And it has backfired because she felt, no, I can't. I don't know.
What stupid things did you do in the past then? Tell me. Give the worst example, please.
Yeah, what was it? I might have said, something like that went well. And then for her, it's a message.
I have to do more of this.
I have to. No, it's a message. Oh, that's wrong. I have to sabotage it. It has to go worse.
Oh, right.
Yeah. And she also says that she will tell me something and then say, no, don't become optimistic. Now don't start believing everything will be fine, because she's afraid she'll disappoint me again or something like that.
Right.
So I don't know. It's difficult. It's a difficult dynamic.
Every expectation you have feels like a burden for her, right?
Yeah.
So by saying, if you want to die, then you drop
At
all
some
your
point
expectations. Then
in-
you are.
in
So
the
you
future.
say, no,
Yeah.
no, but maybe soon. Yeah. Maybe soon, because this is not a lie. This is who you are. You love her so much that if she suffers and it becomes worse and worse, then you won't. You won't prohibit her.
Yeah. If I feel there's no treatment options and her suffering is endless and pointless, I would definitely let her go.
You could combine this with the message, I will fight myself to death. Well, this is a good saying in this respect, to get you through this episode in your life.
Yeah, definitely.
So, but this is something you have to think about, right?
Yeah.
I want to emphasize again that you do a great job. And just loving her, although she's in a miserable state of being, and knowing that you, with your expectations or compliments, send her the wrong messages. You just have enormously bad luck in life. That's the whole story.
Yeah. And it can happen to everyone.
Yeah.
I tell this to my patients, but I don't
Psychiatrists
think
too,
I felt, I realized, I mean, I knew it to be true, but I guess we protect ourselves by believing it won't happen to us. Yeah.
It can happen.
It does.
So there's this hard lesson from the universe. You have to find your way through.
Yeah.
So how do you feel and think about the situation now?
It's good to talk about it and to share it. I think, I mean, I'm not good at secrets, so I can't really hold anything back. But I think it's good to specifically share things and be open about it, because otherwise it makes us lonely.
And loneliness is, of course, the essence of her situation, right?
Yeah.
No connections other than with you and some kittens.
Yeah.
And that's something. It's not nothing, but it's not much.
It's bleak.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's good, and I hear you, and I think just don't want it to backfire, but I don't think it will. I think when we can talk about it in a connected way, I don't really think it can backfire.
No, because I think if I imagine to be her, if you would say so, I still feel this enormously strong power to help and be there and stay connected. Stay even that much connected that if the connection breaks, that still you are connected in a way.
Can you repeat that?
Even if she might end her life, also in this event, you are connected still. And I think it's all about connectedness. And you are the one human being still connected with her at this point in time. So stay connected until the end.
Yeah.
There will be a day, if she lives on, that you leave the earth. And, well, in human nature, it's natural that the parents die first, of course.
Yeah.
But there will be a moment of separation. There will be, anyhow.
Yeah.
So enjoy the connection until the end and separate in peace, whatever the separation might be.
Yeah.
As long as you have done your utmost best and you're doing so.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm so curious how she is when she's 20,
Me too.
when she will reach this age of 30, and how much she might learn from this and how it can strengthen her.
Yeah.
Because she must be a very special child too. But if I identify with you, everything I would say about how special she is doesn't help her. It backfires. So this is a very subtle way of, it's incredibly difficult to guide her through this period. And again, you're doing well. Yeah.
Yeah. And my sister, who went through a lot of the same, she also wrote to my daughter that this is not a waste of time. I mean, you're learning things now that you probably would have learned anyway somewhere down the line.
When you're 50, 60, 70.
Yeah.
A little bit sooner now.
40, I don't know. But it's not a waste of time. So,
and how does this letter resonate in with your daughter?
Yeah, I think she feels... she has severed all connection, but on some level she still feels connected, and it does resonate, I think. But maybe also with the pressure. I mean, I felt a time pressure. I wanted her to get better so she could start school again when we returned to the Netherlands.
This is something you have dropped, right?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. No, but I think she also felt these pressures of being afraid to enter society again, but also maybe a time pressure. And I do think that recognizing that it's not a waste of time. I mean, it sucks, but it probably, if we're not learning this now, it would have popped up somewhere in the future. And
one of the life rules I described in one of my books is ISP, it sucks, period. And which means that it really sucks. It is a problem, but we can decide not to make a problem out of the fact that we have a problem. It sucks, and this is hard enough. Yeah. Don't get frustrated upon frustration.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, stay there like you are doing.
Thank you. Will do. Time will tell.
Yeah. Great.
Thank you.
Do you want to flip think your own problem too? In Bertolt Gunster's bestseller Flip Thinking, you will learn all about the life-changing art of turning problems into opportunities. Flip Thinking is available in England, Italy, Portugal, South Korea, United States, and soon in 17 other countries too. For info, check out flipthinking.info.